in progress.
Recording the progress. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Lovely day today.
Good evening, Chairperson.
Good evening, Chairperson. Thank you. Well, welcome back to our home of married and virtual. At first, let's do some review. If you are occupied by
If you are occupied by that kind of desire, feel better.
desire, kind of desire.
that kind of desire. Okay, it better not
Experience it.
Experience.
Yeah. If you do something of waiting more,
Wanting more, coming to being.
waiting more,
Coming
Comes into
to
being.
coming to being.
yeah,
And-
comes into being. And
It lasts even the whole life.
Into
it come on, it lasts.
and
Lasts if
it lasts even for the whole life.
even for
The whole life.
whole
Yeah,
the whole life.
the whole life. Yeah, whole life. Just because the
That's because
A good
feeling
feeling
has
has
the feeling has
ever
ever disappeared.
disappeared.
消失.
yeah.
Disappeared.
Okay, good feeling has ever and
yes.
you could not
No.
anymore. Don't eat anymore.
have it
Have
anymore.
it anymore.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, okay, now who would like to recite or read today's contents? Please call 9 or 8. Yeah, 让法进, please.
Yeah, good evening, Chairperson and everyone.
Good evening.
Why are people in misery? Why are people in misery? Into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse. This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering, too much suffering. How too much suffering.
However,
Oh, yeah, thank you. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it.
yeah, very good. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
One, Miss Wang, please.
Okay, good evening, Chairperson. Now I'm going
Good
to
evening.
read and recite today's paragraph. Why are people immersing into the first thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. Okay, now I'm going to recite it. Why are people immersing into the first thinking to seek more suffering so that they become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. That's all. Thank you.
Wow, so wonderful. Thank you very much. Next one, 让德法, please.
Good evening, Chairperson.
Good evening.
Why are people immersing into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. Okay, recite. Why are people immersed into the false thinking to seek more sufferings, so that they become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. Next one. Xingdong, please.
Good evening, Chairperson.
Good evening.
We are people immersing into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse. This is why full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it.
Wow, how nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ji-san, please.
Yes, good evening, Chairperson.
Good evening.
Why are people immersed into the first thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in the desperate attempt to work on it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Saju, please.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah.
Good evening, Chairperson. Thank you. Where people immersing into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse. This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Mr. Wang. Yeah. Please, if you. Miss Wang. Hello. Yeah. Mr. Wang. Hello. Hi.
It's me?
Yeah. I can hear
Yeah.
you.
No, I have opened my bag. Thank you, Chairperson. Sorry. Now I'm going to read and recite yesterday's paragraph. If you are occupied by the kind of desire, you had better not experience it. If you do, suffering of wanting more comes into being, and it lasts even for the whole life, just because the good feeling has ever disappeared, and you could not have it anymore. Now recite it. If you are occupied by that kind of desire, you had better not experience it. If you do, suffering of wanting more comes into being, and it lasts even for the whole life, just because the good feeling has ever disappeared, and you could not have it anymore. That's all. Thank you.
Wow, outstanding. Thank you. Chef Defa, please.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. If you are occupied by that kind of desire, it better not experience it. If you do, suffering wanting more comes into being, and it lasts even for the whole life, just because the good feeling has ever disappeared, and you could not have it anymore.
Wow.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Eileen, please.
Where people immerse into the first thing to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse.
And this is the way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it.
Yeah, that's going. Thank you.
Thank you.
金莲芳, please.
Okay, yeah, good evening, yeah, Chairperson.
Good evening.
Okay, yeah, I would like to read first, then I will try my best to recite it. Okay.
Yeah.
Why are people immersing into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that it become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. Okay. Yeah. Why are people immersing into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a however, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shijun, please.
Good evening, Chairperson.
Good evening.
Why are people immersing into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse? This is why follow suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. Thank you.
Yeah, well done. Thank you. Mr. Zhou, please.
Okay, yes, good evening. First, let me read it, then I try to recite it.
Yeah.
Now, why are people immersing into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse, worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. Now let me recite it. Why are people immersing into the false thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse? This is the way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it.
Yeah, you are exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zhang, please.
Yes. Read. Why are people immersing into the first thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in the desperate attempt to work on it. Recite. Why are people immersing into the first thinking to seek more sufferings so that they become worse and worse? This is a way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in the desperate attempt to work on it.
Yeah, what a good song. Thank you.
Thank you.
Huang Li, please.
Okay. Why are people immersing into the false thinking to seek more suffering, so then they become worse and worse? This is way full of suffering, too much suffering. However, for people in the desperate attempt to work on it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice. Thank you. Wow. Wow. So those.
Okay, now I'm going to read and recite the following paragraph. Okay. So that the tasty food and the superior dress, if you were it before, you would not accept the inferior ones. In this case, can somebody be rewarded well? If so, they would go to their downfall because of the desire, the mind of wanting more, not recited. So that the tasty food and the superior dress, if you were it, you would not accept the inferior ones. In this case, can somebody be rewarded well? If so, they would go to their downfall. If so, they would go to their downfall because of the desire, the mind of wanting more. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, good remembering. Thank you. Kenza, please.
Good evening, Chairperson.
Good evening.
Why are people immersing into false thinking to seek more suffering so that they become worse and worse? This is a way for suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work out. Thank you.
Yeah, good for you. Thank you. Rachel, please.
Good evening, Chairperson.
Good evening.
I would like to recite it.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are people immersion into the false think to seek more sufferings, so that they become worse and worse. This is a way full of suffering. Too much suffering. However, all people are in desperate attempt to work on it. Okay.
Thank you. And then, Rav, please.
In the Buddha Dharma, it teaches what causes suffering, what brings bliss, what you have done creates sufferings, and what you have done rewards you bliss when you realize the differences. You could choose from them. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, that's nice. Thank you. Xisang?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
In the Buddha Dharma, it teaches you what causes suffering, what brings bliss. What you have done creates sufferings, and what you have done rewards you with bliss. When you realize the differences, you could choose from them.
Wow, You are improving. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jilian Fang, please.
Okay, yeah. If you are occupied by that kind of desire, you'd better not experience it. If you do, suffering or wanting more comes into being, and it lasts even for the whole life, just because the good feeling has ever disappeared, and you could not have it anymore. Okay. If you are occupied by that kind of desire, you'd better not experience it. If you do, suffering or wanting more comes into being, and it lasts even for the whole life, just because the good feeling has ever disappeared, and you could not have it anymore. Okay.
Yeah, great stuff. Thank you. Honey, please.
Okay. You are occupied by that kind of desire. Desire, you'd better not experience it. If you do, suffering wanting more comes into being, and it lasts even the whole life, just because the good feeling is ever disappeared and you could not have it anymore.
Yeah, you're exciting. Thank you. Zilian, please.
Hi, good evening, chairperson.
Good evening.
Let me try to recite today's content. Why are people immersed into the false thinking to seek more suffering, so that they become worse and worse? This is the way for suffering, too much suffering. However, all people are in a desperate attempt to work on it. Thank you.
Yeah, marvelous. Thank you. Jixiang, please.
Yes. So that the tasty food and superior dress, if you voted before, you would not accept the inferior ones. In this case, can somebody be rewarded well? If so, they would go to their downfall because of the desire, the mind of thinking more, or the mind of wanting more.
Wanting, yeah. That's really nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zilian, please.
Okay. After perceiving all sentient beings, the kind mental spoken in words as though the taste and the beauty seems to be attainable. If so, why are they needed furthermore? Being confused by what you have seen, heard, and touched, the beings have tried picking up the moon in the water for millions of years. All the gain and loss, bliss and suffering are in their illusory existence, manifested by the self-nature according to their consciousness. Able to transfer the conscious mind to wisdom also you carry inside. At the moment you can master your destiny, even to be an easy and Dharma king. Easy to be a free and easy Dharma king. You, like the meaningful, can make all your wishes fulfill. Illustrations. For instance, why do women like making up? They do it for becoming more beautiful and to retain their youth. I need to make up such beauty and keep myself in eternal youth. So they make it then what for? To attract others. Why not make up before going to bed instead of going out? Probably a woman herself has no intention to confuse others, but wants to receive good comments. Why does she need good comments? Actually, it's not hard to find out the root, the origination of lust. Therefore, there are many men and women who like looking in the mirror before going out, since they have the common lust, the habit of greed, that is to say, a kind of application. Men want women, and they approach the woman as close as possible. The woman do as well. So before going out of their house, many women or many women or men prefer to look in the mirror. Due to the karma and the habit of lust, namely a kind of application. Men get as close as the woman. Men get as close as possible to the woman, with the mind of lust. So do the women. There exists the application greed, and this greed is a bottomless pit that can never be filled up. Just like picking up the moon in the water for myriads of years, the feelings had come up. So the sense of touch. I'm not sure. When doing the sexual conduct, after that, the feeling had faded up, but men or women do keep doing. Men or women, the sense, okay, the feeling faded out when let me think it about the more. After that, the feeling faded out, and the man or woman changed to find the sense of touch from other people's. In such a way, they keep thinking such sense of touch. However, they have never stopped to recognize it. If the feeling cannot be attainable, why not stop looking? Why not stop looking? Why not stop seeking? Why? Okay, that's all. Sorry.
Yeah.
Looking for.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 文书.
Oh. How?
Eat. Okay. Yeah. So good remembering. Now this is a contest they will recite tomorrow. Who would like to read it, please? Oh, time's up. Ji-san, please.
Yes. Are you aware of this? If so, you will not desire for this. Are you going to let yourself suffer like this? If you are not aware of this, the wisdom has not been established. Otherwise, you are possessed of such wisdom.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's time to end the course. That's all for today. Let's stop here. See you.
Thank you, Chairperson. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.